Alright guys, so today in this video I am going to show you the differences between Modern Warfare 2019 and this game on how the aim works in this game as far as visual recoil and stuff like that. And the 120 FOV doesn't have as many advantages as far as the aiming mechanics as it did in Modern Warfare 2019. So it does suck because all these console players were getting the 120 FOV and like, oh yeah, I can get it. They have reduced a lot of things with that as far as the aiming aspect. And the way you kill people in this game, it's a little bit different than the other game, being that there's not a lot of movement to be able to get the most out of your aiming. So we're going to go over that. But yes, I still feel like 120 FOV is the best. If you go down to lower FOVs, you are going to get more aim assist, and maybe pro players are going to go down to those. But from my experience, 120 FOV has been working very well for me, and I have a lot of control over my movement, looking left and right, and all things in that nature from using 120 FOV. So I still use 120 FOV affected. I've also heard that narrow was better because it makes your gun slimmer. So you could try it out, just narrow or wide. But as far as that right there, it says that narrow the weapon looks bigger, but wide the weapon looks smaller. So if I go to wide again, it looks like the weapon looks bigger when I'm using wide. It's very interesting. So if you use narrow, it's probably, yeah, I think narrow is probably the better thing to use. The visual recoil looks a lot better compared to using wide. So I do highly recommend you guys use narrow to be able to shoot. Because look at this, I'm shooting at that door right there, right? Now let me go back to the wide. Where is it? Wide. You can see my gun is jumping a lot more. So use narrow. That has better visual recoil compared to wide. So graphics, narrow. Oops. Go back. Thank you. And then I talked about this before. The camera movement, want to have it to the lowest too, because that also helps reduce visual recoil when you're moving left and right and stuff like that. So that is good. But yeah, as far as the aiming thing, that is a big difference, because as you go on to lower FOVs, you're not going to be able to control the recoil if your FOV is too low. It's going to be jumping around all over the place. So if you're going narrow and then going on a high FOV, it's going to be so much better for you to use that way. So I recommend that. So that too, I am going to be going a little bit over my settings too, because aiming is really important with your settings. Movement, not that much. You can have good movement on low sense, high sense, but aiming really, the sensitivity really matters for that. So right here, I still play on bumper jumper tactical flipped. I just think it's the most comfortable to play while you're on controller if you don't use any paddles. I personally don't like paddles at all, but I use bumper jumper tactical flipped right there. And then sensitivity 6.6. I have not changed this. I'm always a fan of low sense because you're able to aim so much better when you're on lower sensitivities compared to higher sensitivities. And this is going to be an aiming game. Last game, there's a lot of people who could play really high sense and they will get away with it because they had good movement. But now, since the movement's not as great, you have to move down to lower senses, because being able to snap really fast but missing your shots is not going to help you at all. So 6.6, anywhere around that should be really good, but I'm using 6.6 right now. And then I do use linear as far as my aim assist response curve. I think this is really important too, because you do get a little bit less input delay on linear, being that it's like a snap left and right. People like to use dynamic mainly because it feels like you get more aim assist and stuff like that, so it might be easier to use dynamic. It might be, but from my personal experience, linear has been amazing, and it really helps me reduce recoil and just helps for more control when I play on that. So I play on linear, and that's pretty much like all the important settings. So now that we go over like the setup of how you should be aiming and stuff, now I'm going to focus more on, I guess, the decision making in places where you should be aiming your weapon. So in other games, right, you would have the slide cancel where you just slide cancel like that, or the bunny hopping and stuff like that. This game is different than the other one because pre-firing is more of an aspect in this game compared to the last game. Last game, if you pre-fired, you were actually at a disadvantage, because if someone's coming around the corner and you pre-fire, you're getting less aim assist, and that person could just jump over you and then just shoot you like here. But since the TTK is so low, when you're pre-firing and the person jumps over, you're able to track them really fast, and you're able to kill them in only a few bullets, because as they're getting their momentum and jumping around, they can't shoot you in time, and you're pre-firing and killing them right there. So pre-firing is going to be a lot more useful, and that just involves your map knowledge, being able to hear them around. Okay, I hear somebody. Okay, he sees me, and I'm over here. I'm going to pre-fire this. As soon as he's coming up around this corner, I just start shooting and looking like this. So as he's running and getting ready to jump, you should be shooting and pushing him. So you're shooting, going like this, while somebody's going this way. You should never like back away and shoot, because you're playing like too scared to the point where he's going to have like the peeker's advantage in that position. So pre-firing when you hear people is going to be really important to getting better aim and getting more kills in this game. Another thing is centering. Centering is good in any single game, no matter what you do. But just remember that you shouldn't, you know, have everything aimed at the ground or aimed at the sky. I've even seen a lot of people in my games, they get the final kill cam and they're just like looking at the ground. I'm like, what kind of centering is that? So centering and pre-firing go hand in hand. You're centering on somebody, you push him, you aim, able to get easy kills like that. When you're using hip-fire weapons, which I like to do a lot with SMGs, if someone's really close and I'm hip-firing, I'm centering and hip-firing like this. So it's not like, okay, I'm gonna run, jump, and hip fire like that. No, it's like centering, hip fire. If you run, jump, and hip fire, you center while you're jumping like that, and you get easy kills like that. And then if you're shooting far away people, like let's just say a guy's all the way down there, then you want to center, aim, and then you could start ADS moving around here. Whereas Modern Warfare 2019, you wouldn't really ADS move like that because you get less aim assist. You can kind of like peek this like this more. And it's more of a slower paced game that actually rewards you for being more prepared when you're peeking corners like that. So if the guy's far away and he's far away, I would just peek like this, maybe like crouch jump a little bit just to get like a little bit harder to see. And then if he's close, I would just push him and hit fire while I'm centered onto his chest area. So that's that. As far as like recoil controls and recoil patterns, because some people like to study different recoil patterns of, okay, if a gun shoots a different way, if it's shooting like, okay, it's shooting up and to the right. I personally don't think it matters too much that you memorize all these gun recoil patterns. If you hold down, like for the most part, you should be able to control recoil for any single gun. It's not really that hard. It's just that you shouldn't really be using guns that are not equipped for certain things. So I'm not going to use this MP7 right here super far away because it's not equipped to go super far away. So I'm going to start getting closer and then start using it for what it was intended to use. So make sure you use your guns for the intended purpose. If you're using an M4, don't run around, start hip firing with the M4. Use it for longer ranges and start aiming like through a wall, center through the wall, pop out and kill people. You're gonna get so much more kills when you use guns that way for its intended purpose instead of running around and try to use it for something it wasn't intended to be used for. Another thing I do really want you guys to practice is jump shotting around corners. It is a lot harder to do in this game when you're jump shooting around a corner compared to Modern Warfare 2019. I feel like it has more of a shaky camera movement when you're jumping around. So I jump around like this. For some reason, I'm more inclined to look at the ground when I'm jumping like that. So if somebody's over here, I'm more likely going to do this and aim at the ground instead of aiming at their chest level. So if you're just playing with bots or just, I don't know, playing a public match, trying to better your aim, always force yourself to jump and then aim at chest level. So you're jumping like this. And there's sometimes jump shotting is good. Jump shotting is really good when you have fast weapons like SMGs. So if you're jump shotting, aiming chest high, that's really going to help you out. Or you could just like pre-fire like this when you have an AR. But if you practice it multiple times, then you're gonna get the hang of how it feels. And when you do jump shot onto enemies because you want to push them and be aggressive, you are gonna get a lot of more kills that way. So focus a lot on perfecting your jump shot so that you can use that at the right time. Right here, I'm going to show you guys what a lot of players don't really think about when they're thinking about aiming. This is very important, pretty much in any concept. So a lot of people, they have really bad aim because there's multiple spots to aim at once. And if there's a window right here and a window right here and people don't know where to look at, usually they try to look in the middle because if somebody pops over there, they can just aim and shoot right here, or somebody pops over there, they can just aim and shoot over here. That's actually a very incorrect way of doing it because you're taking a slower approach to be able to fight two people at once instead of focusing on one area so that as soon as somebody pops there, you can instantly kill them. Usually the best way to do this is to kind of position yourself ahead of time to be able to only look at one place at once. So if I'm looking at this place right here, then I'm blocking off this spot so I don't get shot. And then if I'm going like this, I'm blocking off this spot. So running over here in this spot right here is the worst thing you can possibly do because you can get shot in 2 different directions or even 3 different directions instead of limiting yourself to 1. So as you're moving around the map and you want to get better aim and even just get better awareness and IQ overall, you want to be able to move into spots where you're not going to be able to see multiple people at once. So there's 2 spots over there. Okay, I can get shot in multiple places if I run over there. So I'm going to run around here. I run around here, I'm standing over here, nobody's over there, nobody's over there, not gonna peek over here, nobody's over there, and then just keep focusing on one spot, instead of focusing on multiple spots at once. And as that helps your centering and stuff, you're gonna see that your crosshair is always gonna be where a player is expected to be, and instead of having to readjust and aim at the person, all you have to do is aim and shoot, or even just hip fire if the person is very close. So doing less work while you're aiming at people is really going to help the speed of you shooting at somebody, and you're going to be seeing yourself getting a lot more kills overall. So right now I just put bots on. I'm going to show you guys how to kill people with bots using the same thing that I was talking about. So again, just centering onto each area. I have no idea where the bots are, but I'm preparing my shot to be where these people are expected to be. So I'm like centering over here, centering through this door. And if I know nobody's around me, then I kind of like do everything real fast. So nobody's around here. I'm just going to center over here. Look to my left with my peripheral. Oh, he's on my left. I'm centering right here. Easy kill right there. Easy kill right there. People are, I think they're behind me. And they're in front of me over here. Centering through the wall. Headshot right there. Too easy. Going over here. I know no one's over here because I like scanned that area before. And I hear people shooting in this direction. So I'm going to center over here while I'm moving over here. I hear him through the door. I'm going to center through the door. 2 guys. Oops. That was bad aim with the pistol, but he caught me off guard. So I was trying to hip fire him, but I didn't have enough in the clip, so I had to run away and then ego chow him with my pistol. Here, same thing, just centering. Here on my right. So I'm cutting off all angles. That was a little risky because the MP7 is not good to use long range, like I was saying. But since he had his back turned, I was able to risk it and get the kill. Let me see if I can hit the sniper real quick. Yep. Let me end this game. So that is pretty much how to get a lot better aim in this game. This is with bots, yes, but as you start practicing with bots and you're starting to hit a lot of your shots over and over and over, and everything is really smooth and good, then once you start versing a lot of good players, it's just gonna flow naturally. And you're just gonna feel so much better at the game and so much better. So that is pretty much how to get better at aim in this game. I hope you guys learned a lot and just apply some of these things that I talked about into your own gameplay, and you guys start seeing that you're getting more and more kills each and every game. Under any video or live stream I should have my link tree available so you guys could be able to check out all the other socials that I have right here, and then also my coaching services that I offer. And if you join the Discord below, you can be a part of our amazing community and where we try to help others get better each and every day. And then there's just other people that you can go connect with and play with other great players if you are having trouble finding players on your own. So this is our Sense Community Discord, the main thing that I am most active on, and all my other socials are listed in this link tree.